Hello everyone, it's Jade from Boho Bookworm. Welcome back to my channel and happy St. Patrick's Day. If you didn't guess, that is why I'm in all green and glittery eyes. It is one of my favourite days of the year. It's up there with Christmas, my own birthday, and what else is special? Halloween. And probably this year Easter, because I have developed a very strong taste for chocolate since being pregnant. However, I wanted to let you know what I plan on reading throughout the rest of March, because it's been a while. I know I've been terrible around these parts. Life's just been crazy, being in my second trimester and having zero time, and if I do have time I'm just exhausted, or something pops up, or Anthony's at home and we've had this discussion where he's like, why don't you just film videos in front of me, I don't care, and I'm just like, because I'm very shy, which sounds ridiculous because in some instances I'm like the least shy person that you'd know, and in others I'm just like, no, just leave me alone, I don't want to do that in front of you. No, this channel has been like my life for so many years. I have shared everything, you know, from before I even like started traveling. I've had this channel around, and I've always kept it up somehow, you know. I've had like sporadic moments here or there, but one thing that I've always prided myself on is that I always come back, and that this channel, it did give me a bit of a light in my life when I didn't really have anything else. So it's not something I want to give up if I can help it. It's just that I'm very aware that life is about to change dramatically. In 4 months' time, we're not going to have time to do anything besides look after a little baby. And when, you know, when Anthony goes back to work and I've got the little one with me, obviously I'm not, the last thing on my mind is going to be filming videos. So this is something I need to try and navigate if I do want to keep it up, which obviously I do. It's something that I've always found enjoyable, fun, putting videos together, chatting to you guys, getting your comments. It's a bit of my heart, it's a bit of me. It's how, you know, when me and Anthony met, I told him, you know, I had this channel, and though it's not like big or popular or anything, and I only have a few people that probably actually watch it religiously, which, you know, I'm very thankful for you guys, but for me, it's like an online diary above anything else. It's like, oh god, someone's here, hold on. Oh, thank you, bye-bye. Bloody Anthony's post. Where were we? It's like an online diary. When I go back and I see where I was, what my accent was like, it's varied so often over the years, where I was based in life, what I was going through, all that, because I've always been very honest with my channel. It's fascinating to me to have that kind of documented steps throughout my life. And no, I don't go back and like watch my videos like religiously and like stuff like that. Like occasionally I'll like watch maybe some of the travel ones back with me and Anthony if I'm feeling nostalgic about like our first year together or something, but it's still nice to have it there. And, you know, one day it's something that maybe I could show my son. So it is something I would love to keep up as and when I can. We've made the decision to keep baby off of social media. Obviously, you know, I'll have my own private Facebook page and my own private Instagram page where, you know, I can share my own stuff with baby, but nothing's going to be like public with him, and I think that's a good thing, but at the same time it's sad because a lot of, you know, people that I watch and love and adore, you know, they've brought their children up and kind of shared everything, and they've got those documented moments that they can go back and watch. And I know we can still do that like without it being on YouTube, and obviously it will be, but I love my YouTube channel, and it's going to be sad that that part of my life isn't going to really be documented on here, because literally everything else has been. But yeah, that's our decision, and I know that in itself means that filming is going to be very few and far between. I'm talking, if I can film once every few months, that would be great. So yeah, sad, but that is probably the facts of life right now. Already I'm barely filming anymore. I've just reached a different stage, and yeah, that makes me, it does hurt my heart a little bit, but it is what it is, isn't it? So I'll bring out videos while I can, as I can, until August approaches, by which point I will probably have to say a bit of a farewell around this channel, to be very honest with you. But for now, stick around if you want to, and I will let you know what I'm currently reading. So throughout March, the second half of March, I've got 3 books on the go. I am reading, also green actually, The Six Tudor Queens Book 2 Anne Boleyn story, and I am currently over 100 pages in now. Fascinating book. In book 1, hated Anne Boleyn. I just thought she was the most vile woman, and now reading more of her story and where she comes from and how she became in this kind of relationship with the king is very interesting to me, because history tells us that it was actually Mary, Anne's sister, who was with the king first, and then he became obsessed with Anne Boleyn. And I'm at the part now where it's still really Mary is the one that the king is pursuing, whereas I'm also watching the Tudors on All 4, and that very much kind of shows that the bits in the book, which is all factual about how like the king was dressing up in plays and kind of pursuing Anne in front of the queen, one play in particular, I can't remember what it was called, but in the Tudors TV show they have that as Anne Boleyn, whereas in the book and in the facts it was actually the sister. And Anne Boleyn actually really could not stand the king. She didn't find him very attractive at all, and kind of despised him for pursuing her sister and trying to, you know, break up or get involved in the marriage that her sister had with her husband. So very interesting. The other book that I am currently reading, I started out really liking it, but I thought that my attention and focus had come back in the second half of pregnancy, but clearly not, because I'm listening to The Midwife by Victoria Jenkins on Audible, and I've restarted it about 3 times now. There's something wrong with my brain at the minute, but this is a book about this woman who is pregnant and she's at Pinewood Hospital. She can see all these like pictures of like perfect families and everything, and looking around her, everyone's all together and about to start their new families, and she's very acutely aware that she's about to go into this new motherhood completely alone, and she's feeling quite upset about it. And her midwife is called Jackie. She's quite comforted by Jackie, but then like Jackie starts to give her phone calls and stuff, and she doesn't actually remember giving Jackie her phone number, but she's like, oh, okay, whatever. Jackie is kind of convincing her to go to this antenatal group. She tries to like bring up excuses, but Jackie's really persistent and doesn't take no for an answer. The midwife promised that it would be this really big group and it would be really beneficial for her, but when she arrives there's only one other very nervous woman in the room, and something just doesn't seem right. She's starting to wonder if her and her baby are in safe hands. So as I'm in my second trimester and I love to give myself a good scare, I thought, this bit would be absolutely perfect for me, but unfortunately it's just not really clicking with me at the moment. I will carry on trying. I'm sure it's probably just my focus is not quite right at the minute, but I will try it again soon. The other book that I am listening to is The Good Neighbours by Kiersten, which I actually finished, but again, attention and focus went out the window, and I have no idea what happened in the book. I need to go back and listen to it from the start. And this is a book about this couple that start this friendship with their new neighbours, and everything seems like quite fantastic, but then new neighbours don't try and ruin your life, do they? And that's kind of like the premise. Kiersten Modglin churns out books left, right and centre, and they're just really quick popcorn thrillers that are normally a lot of fun, really bingeable, addictive, nothing like that's gonna wow you to like, oh wow, this is like my new favourite book ever, but they're always a bit fun. But again, I couldn't tell you how that book finished. I couldn't tell you about any of the characters. so my brain needs to like get back in. I feel like it's lodged out of place at the minute, so I need to like click it back in and focus on audiobooks, and yeah, just focus on doing some videos on this channel again for a little bit, because that does make me sad. I don't know what to say. Like, I feel like giving up this channel would just make me cry, considering it's been a part of my life for so long. But you know what, like, it's just change, isn't it? Like, change comes and you've just got to go with the flow. If I go traveling and stuff, I'd still like to do little travel vlogs, but again, that's going to be so difficult once a baby comes, and they're going to be in like the videos and the shots, which I then can't put out onto YouTube because we've decided not to do that, and half the time I won't be able to film anything worth filming because I'll be busy with baby, which obviously is, I'm so happy to be a mum and for that, to have reached that stage of my life. But I am sad that a lot of the stuff that I used to love doing is obviously going to stop. Like, not just YouTube, which it sounds so silly that it's such a big part of my life, but it is. You know, I've spent many years of my life alone, and this was everything to me during those times. But other things as well, like going out for dinners is going to be very few and far between suddenly. Something as simple as just jumping in the car on a whim and just having like a sporadic weekend, oh, let's go here today, like that, it's suddenly going to change when a baby comes, isn't it? So you've got to plan your life differently once baby comes. And yeah, to know that all those changes are coming in the next 4 months petrifies me a little bit. Like, I'm so excited and ready to meet my baby and for that future to start. But yeah, it's going to be a lot to get used to, I think, obviously. So, just going to the cinema. I think this weekend we're planning on going to the cinema to see Scream. That's not going to be possible once we have kids. Not often anyway, especially not at first. Going out for like a drink at the pub, having a night of just like getting sozzled on a bottle of wine, like those little things. And like, I know that life's changed and I've got something far greater to look forward to, but it freaks me out a little bit that life literally is going to do a total, not even 180, like 360, God knows. Yeah, and that's why I think when I think about this little holiday that we haven't planned anything yet, but in May, that is going to literally be our last real time before the baby comes to be us together as a couple on holiday ever again in our lives. Unless, you know, maybe when we have a honeymoon in 2025, and the baby will be old enough to stay with Granny and Grandad. Yeah, it's crazy to me to think that that's the direction that life's taking now. It's exciting, but it's also like, wow, okay, get used to the fact that everything is about to change. But obviously I'm so blessed and so lucky. I love this little boy more than anything. Every time I like feel his little movements and stuff, the little kicks and the little taps I feel in my tummy at the moment just absolutely melt my heart. Me and Anthony were just like, we had tears in our eyes the other night when we felt it together. I must be honest, like the big movements, like the rolls, when like I can feel like a whole little body in there, I'm like, okay, like I'm getting used to that bit. But yeah, I can't believe that I'm going to have a son, a little mini Anthony, my two men, my two boys. So yeah, I'm so excited. I have been shopping non-stop for baby things, mum things, things that we need to complete the nursery. The excitement is so real, and I am welcoming this change in life. There is just always that little bit of like, wow, everything is literally about to change. It just feels like every day that goes by is going so quickly, and I'm scared that we're running out of time to doing little things that would be nice to do together before the baby comes, like simple things such as like we've got some Lego to build when we have a baby. I know that the baby sleeps sometimes, but how often they're going to wake up, and we're not going to be able to like build Lego together in an evening as often anymore. We won't be able to afford it, and most of the Lego is probably going to have to go away so that baby doesn't play with it and choke on it, things like that. So yeah, just the smallest little bits, and some big things like watching a movie through from start to finish. There's a couple that I'd really like to watch again one last time. I want to rewatch the Harry Potter movies before baby comes. Serendipity, where we got engaged, I'd love to watch that movie again. We did watch Bridget Jones' Diary the other day, the baby one, which was really funny. Yeah, but I'd like to watch the first ones if there's time in the next 4 months. So yeah, there's lots that I'd love to focus on a little bit more in the next 4 months, but then again I've got a lot of other stuff that requires my attention and things that I need to plan. So it's like, okay, I just don't know where my head's at the moment. I'm feeling a little bit frazzled, I guess, and sad that my YouTube channel is almost definitely coming to an end. But then, you know what, like, let's be honest, I don't get that many views. I don't have that many people contacting me saying hello. I have tried my best to make something of this channel over a period of years, and it's done okay, but it's not like the reason I've continued it for so long is because it's like my little online journal. It's more a sentimental thing than anything else to me. Yeah, let me know what you're reading in the comments down below, and any advice, tips, love, give me anything you've got. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.